Hi, Mark Palmquist, cabinet maker, woodworker here. Today's video is going to be how to make a frame and panel drawer front or door using the domino machine and the router table. Okay, the first thing that you do is you mill up the stock material, and then you take the sides, put them together like this, and you draw a triangle on the inside edge, and then you take the top and the bottom, put them together like that, and you draw a triangle here. The triangle gives you a frame of reference, so you know these are horizontals because of the shape. You know these are verticals because of the shape. You know this is the bottom because it has a base. The top has a point. So now you know the orientation. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Festool Domino holes here, 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 here. So you always register off of the outer corner. So on the top and bottom it's going to be here, registering off the outside, and here, registering off the bottom. So that's why you have to mark it. It also tells you what the top and bottom is. If you flip this, it won't work. Everything always has to be, all the markings have to be facing up. That's the #1 rule. Okay, the next thing to do is to set up your domino machine. I'm using 8mm, and I'm using the first set of pins. In some cases, you might want to use a second set of pins, but in this case, my frame is only 2 1/4, so I'm using the first set. And here's a vertical piece, and this is the inside. So, and this is the top edge. So I take it and I slide it over, and now this one I already did the groove on it, but that's going to come second. So I already actually did everything on this, but that's what it looks like. Here's the top panel. I'm just going to do the domino on the end here, registering the triangles here, so that means this is the outside. So I'm registering outside. So it looks like that. I'm using 50mm long dominoes, so the hole is 25 in both parts. Okay, I'm using a Delta router shaper with a bit that looks like this. What I do is I take a piece of aluminum, which I know is an 1/8 inch thick, and I go like this, and that's how I set the blade. Now some of these I already did. It's going to look like that. Now I kind of prefer the most of the offset to be here. So in other words, the floating panel is further towards the back, but you can also center it. Okay, so see that tiny little chip right there? I highly recommend that you do this in two phases. So you do like a shallow cut first, and then you do a deeper cut. If you try to do it all in one cut, there's more of a likelihood to get a chip. Okay, another quick thing to note, for the verticals, for the sides, I plunge it so that this slot does not go all the way up to the top, otherwise it would be visible. I usually go basically right up to that domino, and that's where I started. The horizontals, you can go right through the end. You won't notice that. It won't be visible. Okay, the next step is to determine the size of the inner panel. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and put it together. I have 4 dominoes, which I kind of I slimmed them down so they're a little loose. So when I put it together, I can easily knock it back apart. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I know that my groove is, let's double check this here. It's a 1/4 inch deep, so I'm going to make it almost a 1/4 inch, almost a 1/2 inch larger than this actual opening. Basically a 1/2 inch minus 1/16. Okay, it's pouring outside, so I'm going to have to talk really loud. All right, there's one nice little detail that I like to do. I like to do a chamfer on the inner edge of the front of the panel using a bit that looks like this and a router that is compact. It's very important to make sure that your ball bearing is riding on this little ledge here. If you have your groove centered, you might have to do this operation before you do the groove on the inside. All right, now I'm going to test fit the inner panel. All right, that looks right. See how it's sticking up? Good fit. All right, so this panel floats inside of the groove, and that's how you want it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to glue it up. I have some fresh dominoes. These are tight fitting. I'm just going to plane off the little bumps on the ends. This gives me a little bit more lateral control, just in case there's a little bit misalignment. All right, the panel is rotated 90 degrees, so the top is here, the bottom's here. It's always good to do dominoes vertically. So if you have a proper workbench, you can do this and stuff won't fall down. I'm just using an acid brush to spread the glue. Being very careful to make sure there's enough in here. Some of these holes will get more than others, so I take the if there's a hole that has too much glue, I just take it to the ones that don't have enough redistribution of glue. Okay, the mortise and tenon joint is so strong you don't really have to put glue on the ends of anything. It's not really needed. You can brush a little bit on your dominoes, but only a thin coat. Oh, I got my trusty sand-filled dead roll. Okay. Okay, now I just have to put glue here. Okay, it's really good to use a parallel clamp and line it exactly with the edge so you know everything is square. The reason I like these is because if you line this up exactly there and exactly there, then you're not twisting the panel and you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be straight. Let me just get one more clamp. These really have to be parallel, otherwise you'll get a Alright, that looks good. Perfect. Alright, now I'm just going to wipe off the glue. And now we're done. It's so easy to route the outer edges with the same bit after everything is glued up and dried, and after you sand a little bit. But you have to do this edge before you glue it up. Okay, here it is one more time. Also, I reuse my acid brushes. I just stick it in a jar full of water. If you fill the jar all the way up, then the stick will rust more slowly. If you leave just water in the bottom half, it'll rust quicker. It's most important that you get the glue up on the side walls, the ones that are flat, not the rounded ends. That's where you get all your strength. Okay, all done. With the mortise and tenon, you don't have to leave it in the clamps very long, you know, like maybe 20 minutes. Normally you would clamp something for 35 to 40 minutes, but because there's so much surface area with this joint, you only have to clamp it for about half.